Jingle bell. It's Christmas atmosphere in Jerusalem, although Jerusalem is not only a Christian city. In front of you can see Mount of Olives, which is holy to the Christians, of course. Remember, Jesus will come again from here, but it's important for the Jews and the Muslims as well. For example, you can see now a Jewish ceremony near one of the tombs of a rabbi. And it actually tells us that that place is such an important place. But look how sunny it is today. Garden of Gethsemane was there, and I actually blessed few people there today. One of them, you will hear about her soon. But the other side of Mount of Olives is Jerusalem. And you can see the eastern wall of the city. Now that part of the eastern wall of the city is from the time of King Herod, because King Herod built a massive walls around the Temple Mount, and by that he created an artificial plaza, and on top of it he built the Jewish temple. Then this is one of the walls of the Jewish temple, which is now one of the walls of Al-Aqsa Mosque, and one of the walls, the eastern wall of Jerusalem, the city. But the lower part, you can see that it's more ancient, and we're actually going to walk through there. Today it's a Muslim cemetery, but I want you to read something. Please wait. I would like to dedicated that cross, and you will see the cross soon, to my wife as a Christmas gift. I'm not sure that it will reach Christmas, but the video will be before that, and you can surprise her before. And this is important. This is amazing. It's love. It's a totally love between a couple. Look what he actually write about her his wife. Her full name is Gloria Ann Burdge. She is 71, working the night shift, taking care of her on her 104 years old aunt. She was raised on a farm and married me there when she was 36. She was a school bus driver and teaches aid for over 30 years, and gave birth on our only son when she was 44. You know what? I related to it because my only child was born when I was 42 years old. And but this is love, there. This is love, and that's why I'm dedicating that special tour at a special day. But before that, let me show you the cross that you asked for. This is your cross. Gloria Ann. But he asked only to add only your name for it. I decided that he is important as well, then I wrote his name by the side. The tour will be a special tour, and it's not only for the Catholic, because the Catholic might know that story. It's mostly for the evangelists and the others. I want you to understand why Mary is quite an important figure for the Catholic. Now let's start with that Mary is not as holy as Jesus, but she's not so far away from here, and you will understand it too. Meanwhile, what I want you to see is the corner of two walls. And I know that it's difficult to hear me now, but we will have to get used to it. This is the southern wall of the temple, and this is the eastern wall of the temple. At that corner, according to the Christianity, two things happen. When Jesus came as an infant, around 40 days old, to the presentation at the temple, see the windows there? According to what we know, that's where the cradle of Jesus was. On the wall, the devil tried him and told him to jump. If you will jump, if you believe in God, they will catch you. And Jesus answered, I'm not trying God. But that is the main entrance to the temple. Then I believe that Jesus, as a Jew, entered to the temple 3 times a year. And today it's a Muslim site. Then you can see here a dome, the dome of Al-Aqsa Mosque. Let's enter. Let's cross the road. I hope that one died. And we will enter through the Muslim cemetery. Third, a very important gate. It's important to understand that when King Herod built the walls to create a plaza for the Temple Mount they called it, the eastern wall was supposed to be here. Even it being destroyed, they cannot move it because the valley is here. At the western wall, the southern wall, the northern wall, when someone built something, he can move it a little bit. But the eastern wall is solid. From its time, it's been destroyed 70 AD, then above it there's so many stones from different times. Yesterday, December 8th, it was the feast of the Immaculate Conception of the Catholic. The Orthodox use a different name for it, and they're celebrating it at December 9, which is this year will be December 22nd, and they call it the Feast of the Conception by Saint Anne of the Most Holy Theotokos, which is Mary. A different name, a different meaning, but it's almost the same meaning actually. It's not really a different meaning, but let me... You can see how beautiful is Mount of Olives. And let's talk about it. I know that it's for some of the Christians, evangelists, Protestant, it will sound so weird because it's not part of the Bible, and it's not part of the Bible. But it's still, as you know me, I love to talk about Christianity as one united religion. Then different denominations believes in different ways in Jesus, but it's still Christianity. You can actually see in front of you walls from the Jewish temple. You can see the frame around it. It's, if you remember, if you've been at the Western Wall, it looks the same. Sorry about that. It's quite holy, but from time to time people are not respecting that place enough. Then in that case, for the Catholic, it's one of the most important holidays. Solemnity, very high, very important. It's one of the 16 most important holidays. For the Orthodox, is quite important, but not the most important, not one of the 14 or 12 important holidays. How do you know when Mary was born? Or more than that, when we actually started to talk about the feast of Mary. In Jerusalem, it started, as we believe, because we don't know for sure, only at the 5th, 6th century when we built St. Anne Church. If we built St. Anne Church, it means that the story was already well known here. At Europe, it started not before the 11th century. Then you can actually see the differences between, let's say, Europe and Jerusalem. Look how beautiful is the view. Of Mount of Olives. Oh, there's another guy that taking videos. I'm not the only one. Now the text that I will use will be from two stories or two non-gospels that you can find in the Bible. It's not part of the New Testament. Then in that case, I know exactly then when you will look at me, and at least the Christians, the evangelists, Protestants, look at me and say, Zahi, what are you talking about? It's not part of it. But at the 2nd century and the 8th century, there were two important books that were published about what's happened to Mary. We already talked about it. One of them is the Proto-Evangelion of James. 2nd century, my friends. Quite early in Christianity. And they talked about a couple, Joachim and Hannah, the future father and mother of Mary, that an angel appeared to them. The father was already at the desert, which is behind the Mount of Olives. It's the Judean desert. The mother was here. Both of them prayed for to have a child. They're already married for at least 20 years. They are old and they don't have a child. Then the angel came to both of them separately and told them, you're going to have a child. You're going to be pregnant, Mary. This is something special. Look at the wall. Look at Mount of Olives. Now we can see beautifully Garden of Gethsemane. Jingle bell. I won't stop singing it because I heard it in one of the churches and I do have a problem. It's on my mind until I will hear a different Christmas song, Christmas carol. Now this is the Eastern Wall, and you can see here 3 or 4 letters of the name of God. Yud, wait a minute, let me touch it for you. Yud, Hey, and Vav. We don't know how it's happened, but if you believe in God, and you know that God actually did it, God chose Jerusalem, then you can understand that it's part of it. The other guy is actually talking in Arabic. Then let him go, but let me take a picture of it. Then in that case, It's quite an important issue. You are going to be pregnant. The angel told Joachim, your wife is already pregnant. No intercourse. She's already pregnant. He was there at the desert. Then in that case, someone else did it. God. It's a divine thing. Then they are meeting in Jerusalem, and that's why I'm heading to that place. They are meeting in a gate. According to the Proto-Evangelion of James, they are meeting in a gate, or next to a gate. No one talks about the name of a gate in his book, in his gospel, Proto-Evangelion. But someone else later on will mention it. We are talking about the Pseudo Matthew, the Gospel of Pseudo Matthew from the 8th century. And he mentioned that the couple met at the Golden Gate. The Golden Gate. I didn't know why I decided to do that. I mean, to talk about it when I bought the cross of Gloria. I thought that I will talk about me. Me and my wife tried to bring a child for so many years. We couldn't. And then when we reached 41, a miracle occurred. And now we have almost 20 years old child, Lior. We called her my light. Then the Golden Gate for me was such an important place. But when I read that you had a miracle when you reach 44, and you do have an amazing child, I knew that the Immaculate Conception will be for you. Guys, look how amazing is Mount of Olives from here. Then welcome to the Golden Gate. Welcome to the Kidron Valley, that divided that the non-pure and the pure. We are together with you. The Golden Gate was probably very close to the site of a very important gate for the priest, the Jewish priest that used to go out at Yom Kippur in an atonement day and with the two scapegoats. One went to the desert, just like Joachim. The other one actually stayed here. For me, it's Anna. In Hebrew, it's Hannah. And look at the entrance. Look how beautiful it is. And later on, when you will watch a video of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, look like the same gate, isn't it? According to the Gospel of Matthew, Joachim was at the desert for 5 months. Something bad happened to him at the temple. Although he was such a generous guy, one of the priests there kicked him out because he had no children. This is nothing that connected to Judaism. Everyone in Judaism is accepted if you've got children or not. Especially when he's not a sinner. He was a shepherd and he was a rich man, and he gave a lot of donation to the temple and to the poor. That when he came, when the angel came to him and told him, go back to the Golden Gate, he will wait for you there. He already told him that he's pregnant, she's already pregnant, she already conceived from his own, you know what? But it actually happened by the divine. And this is a problem, because there's no intercourse, if I can say it here. And we will talk about it soon. 30 days after he heard it, he reached his wife and he actually hugged her. Jota actually said he kissed her. And that's how they conceived. Then in that case, the Golden Gate is such an important place. I mean, there's so many other stories about the Golden Gate. But now we are talking about the Immaculate Conception of St. Anne and Mary. When they met, she already felt that she is pregnant. When you will see a couple that hugs itself and even kissed itself in Christianity, this is the only story. That the sun is in the best location. I woke up late. I don't know why. It's never happened to me. But maybe I woke up late to accept the idea that the best view of Mount of Olives from Jerusalem is in that hour. We are close to 2 p.m., 1400th hour. Then let's continue. Jesus wasn't conceived. Mary wasn't conceived by an intercourse. She is the only one that, Jesus is the only one that was born without a sin. But now we are talking about Mary, and we know that Immaculate Conception, it means that it's sinless as well. Then how come? How can it be? This is a dilemma of the Catholic and the Greek Orthodox for hundreds of years. The idea that Mary is sinless, and the original sin wasn't part of her life, is old. But only at the 19th century the Pope accepted it as a dogma. We will talk about it soon. But what I want you to understand that the Franciscans, for example, accepted it immediately. The Dominicans, not at all. Only Jesus was born without a sin. And let's talk about what is the original sin. Why it's so important. The salvation doctrine is about the Holy Ghost. God that sent the Holy Ghost to actually and he entered to the body of Mary without any help of a human. Then it's such an important thing. Augustinus, for example, in the 4th century, wrote about the Latin theology. And he said that the original sin, the first sin of eating the apple is not the apple. He said that they didn't listen to God. It's not the biggest sin. The apple is not. The original sin is because of the intercourse. This is the original sin. And you must remember it, because now we do have a problem. Mary is pregnant. Sorry, Anne is pregnant. Look how beautiful is the Golden Gate from here. And again, jingle bells. It's on my mind all the time. Ti-la-li-la-li-la-la. And a person is born sinless when he actually, when a child will be baptized, it will be sinless. And you must understand that according to Christianity, every intercourse is a sin. Even, the one that of a couple that, according to the Catholic doctrine, is having it, it's so weird for me to talk about it, it's not a sin. But when the child was born, that's the sin. He is actually is a sinner. Then to be baptized is to be born again, to die and to be born again sinless. Jesus is taking all the things for us. That's why he came. To be baptized is the only way to die later on and to reach heaven. That's why the tomb of Adam and Eve, and remember the couple, first sinner. The reason the tomb of Adam is beneath the crucifixion is because by the tears of blood of Jesus, when they touched the tomb of Adam, he resurrected as sinless. This is such an important thing. For the Orthodox, it's a little bit different. Intercourse as a couple, it's perfect. Then in that case, some of the priests, some of the Orthodox priests can be married. The only problem is the original sin is Adam and Eve sins. Then people are dying because of it. And Jesus came to take the sins out of us. He took our sins when he came back to here. Let me try to show you. I think from here I can enter and not touch the, yes, I can show you a little bit more of it. I don't want to touch any tomb because it's, for me, it's, I have to respect it with love. Look how beautiful is the valley. And the church of Garden of Gethsemane, that's where Jesus was captured by Judas. Above it, it's Mary Magdalene Church. To the right and above, now it's in the center of the video, is Dominus Flavit. That's where Jesus saw the city on Palm Sunday, when he entered to the city as a Messiah, and he saw the temple, and he knew that Jerusalem and the temple will be destroyed. Now let me return to the Christians, and they will say that there's only one person who actually born without sin, and that was Jesus. Then what's about Mary? How Mary? Why she's got a special part of the story? Then yes, the adoration of Mary is quite important. According to the Catholic, it's the second importance adoration. First Jesus, and then Mary, and then the angels and the saints. Regina Coeli, it's the Queen of Heaven. For the Christians, for the Catholic, she is the Queen of Heaven. She is the Queen of the Church, Mother Ecclesia. And still, the Catholic, and I'm sure that the Orthodox, but I didn't study a lot about it, will argue between themselves, how can it be? How can it be? Then they found a solution. Because the story until now was about the parents of Mary and what's happened between them. But let's move out over here, and let's move out of the of the Muslim cemetery, and we will enter through another optional gate. Maybe that's where they met each other, and that is today it's called the Lion's Gate, one of the 8 gates that you can actually enter to the city through, and we are going to do that. And you can see some of the Israeli military soldiers. שלום לכם, תשמרו על עצמכם נשמות שלי, תזכרו, הם נמצאים פה. I told them to take care of them. I felt like I'm a father. Oh gosh, that is horrible. I can blame my daughter that's saying, oh come on, don't act like her grandfather now. You're still a young father of mine. This is the Lion's Gate. You can see the 2 lions at both sides of the gate, but the gate itself is only from the 16th century, built by the Ottomans, but on the same site, more or less, of the ancient gate of the city. There are 2 places that mention the birth of Mary. I saw now a Netflix movie and I stopped watching it because maybe it's a beautiful movie, but when they said that Jesus was born, or I don't know, she was born, Mary was born in Nazareth, then I stopped watching it. There are few options, but here is the birthplace of Virgin Mary according to the Greek Orthodox. Now we are talking about a rich house, and we are talking about the Greek Orthodox believe that it was in the courts between the couple. Remember, they don't have a problem with that. Then at the heart of the Greek Orthodox, you will find a rich house and a bed. They met at the Gate, but she was born here. Conceived here. The Catholic is next door, and as you can see, the doors are still closed because it's not 2 p.m. yet. And that is Bethesda pools, the pools of Bethesda. Remember, 38 years old man that wanted to enter to the pool. And Jesus actually told him, wake up, stand up and go. But this is the birthplace of Mary, Virgin Mary as well, according to the Catholic. It's one next to each other, then for me it's the same thing. I don't know what's the time now because I don't have a smartphone. I don't have, a smart watch. And this is the only reason to buy one. But later on, I will try to enter if it will be open because of the war. Nothing is sure here, but this is the monastery of it and the entrance to the pools. And I will try to enter soon because it's supposed to be very close to 2. Well, this is the second part. Remember, the church was closed, and if you look at the sky, it's not so blue, isn't it? Because it's not the same day. When I wanted to enter the church, it was closed for Immaculate Conception service. Then I had to come again, took the train from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem just for that. And why just for that? Because I feel the energy, and the energy is so strong, and I didn't want to waste it. I mean, look how beautiful is this. We just enter to the place that the Byzantine, the first Christians, actually believed that Mary was born, and they built, as you remember, a church on top of it. I'm talking about the 5th century church. Then the 5th century church started from here, and what you see here is only the Crusader church, which was a small one. The Byzantine church used to be huge, dedicated to St. Anne and Joachim, the father and mother of Mary, and it's ended right there. You can understand how big the Byzantine church used to be. It'd been destroyed by the Persians, and later on, when the Crusader came, they built a small church here dedicated to the Pool of Bethesda. We are at the Pool of Bethesda. I didn't talk about it yet because it's not part of our story. And they built another church, Romanesque church, dedicated to the house of Mary and the place that Mary was born, the house of Joachim and Hannah, which, as you know, were rich. But we are still with a huge dilemma. Conception of Mary. It's a sin, but she is not supposed to be a sinner. Then, for hundreds of years, the church actually argue a lot about that story until someone smart said, come on, let's go to the Bible itself, because until now we based on non-biblical gospels outside books. And I will make it short. The book of Ben Sirah and Genesis tells us a little bit about the future coming of Mary, and to make the story shorter, because I think it's a very deep theological story. I hope that you love it, because it's not an easy story to accept, especially if you're not Catholic or even Orthodox. Then in that case, according to the book of Ben Sirah, God created Mary from day one. And she will be with us for the rest of our life. The Catholics saw it as the new Eve, Nova Eva. And Mary is giving us the hostia, the Eucharist, and brings us to salvation, and not like Eve that actually gave us the apple and brought us let's say, to hell. Then in that case, it's still very complicated, but at the 19th century, they went back to one of my favorite books in the New Testament, Revelations of John. And there I think it's in chapter 12, he described what Catholic believed was Mary, a woman that, let me remember it, a woman that was dressed with the sun itself, and she wore a crown with 12 stars, and she was standing on the moon, and there was an alligator that later on we actually turned it into the snake. Then in that case, if I remember correctly, she was pregnant, and the alligator wanted to catch the child, the newborn child, but God took him to sit next to him. then in that case, now in one hand we have the new Eve, and the other hand, the book of Revelation tells us about Mary as kind of almost a divine, a creation of God. Then in that matter, what left for us is just a miracle. If we will have a miracle that talks about it, we will know that it's actually meant to be Immaculate Conception of Mary. And guess what? At the 19th century, it's happened. In 1830, Catherine Louvois, a nun, had a vision. She saw Mary that tells her, "It's me. They are talking about me, and please prepare a medallion that every Christian or Catholic must wear." Then if you do have a medallion, and I'm sure that you saw a lot of Christian art, Catholic art, about Mary surrounded with the sun, wearing a crown with 12 stars, standing on the moon. Then if you saw a Catholic who wear a medallion like that, according to Catherine Louvois, and according to the Pope later on at 1854, everyone who will wear it will achieve salvation. Then here it is. From that year, 1854, December 8th, it became to be a dogma. Immaculate Conception of Mary. Great, isn't it? Then let me take you now to the House of Mary according to the Crusader. It's a beautiful church. Don't leave me. Let me organize my bag because it's so heavy. As you remember, we are still walking with Gloria Ann Burdge. I won't mention her. And that's for Christmas, but actually Merry Christmas to everyone. Look how beautiful is the Crusader church that been destroyed, not actually destroyed, at the 12th century. It was occupied by Saladin, and they turned it into school, madrasa. I think it's called Salahiyya Madrasa, or Madrasa Salahiyya by its name, mostly for girls. And the Ottomans gave it to the French. Then the White Fathers are taking care of that church now. And the fourth French churches in Jerusalem, you have to pay. It's not expensive, but it's not for free. You can see the French flag on top of it. If we'll talk a little bit about Bethesda, the pools, it takes us again to the Bible, John 5. John 5. 1 to 9, that tells us about Jesus who was here for the Jewish festival on Saturday. He entered to that place and he saw so many handicapped people, and the story tells us that the first one who will enter the pool when it's a little bit wavy will be cured, but there was a paralyzed man for 38 years that couldn't enter the pool. And Jesus came to him and said, "Come on, stand up, take your bed and go." Guys, this is the power of Jesus. That's the Crusader Church. Let me look for the... it's difficult to see, but those are the two pools. The southern pool is longer, wider than what you see here. And here it is. the Byzantine Basilic Church. And that's the Crusader. See, it was smaller than that, but they built the House of Mary, which we are going to visit. Let me show you the facade of it. And you will see that on top of the entrance, there is an Arabic inscription that tells us about Saladin. Let me read it for you, because I wasn't prepared myself for that. Then, and Jesus said to the man who had been healed for 38 years, "Rise, take up your belt and walk." Let's enter to the House of Mary. The acoustic is amazing. It's a beautiful church. The grotto is the place that we believe that Mary was born. But I will make a little, a short tour. If there will be someone there, I won't be able to care. This is the one who actually take care of that place. Then you can see the Arabic inscription. Such an amazing church, isn't it? And let me be quiet. Let me see if someone is here. Look at the Romanesque church. It's Anne and Mary, little Mary. He is just moving the bench and you can hear the acoustic. Hello, Holy Spirit, in the shape of a dove. This is the best place, this is the best spot to sing about Mary, to bless Mary. The altar is, of course, new. The left part is the Nativity of Mary. The right part is the angel in Nazareth, the Annunciation, and the middle one you cannot see it because of the Advent candles. It's where Mary was taught by St. Anne. Let's go to see the Nativity. There was one time that I fell from those stairs. Then if you're doing it without me, please take care of yourself. The result was agony for a long time. It's beautiful to see the kind of Greek Orthodox icon that describe the birth of Mary. You can see that it was a rich house. St. Anne is sitting on the bed and the servants are cleaning Mary, feeding them. You can see Joachim looking at that place and say, "Come on." I didn't believe that that moment will come. I can see the crown of Mary as well. Remember, if you want to have one of the Christmas items, and he wanted to bless it in one of the churches in Jerusalem, and he wanted me to send it to you. Remember that in the description you will find 2 links. One of Buy Me a Coffee, that's where you can buy it. The other one is PayPal, and that, if you can support my channel, I will be so happy, mainly because you are the only tourist now in Israel. One more thing, sadly I cannot answer to the people that write something on PayPal. I don't know why, but trust me, I see everything. I'm blessing everyone, and I'm adding your name to the Western Wall, between the walls, with a blessing. Then every penny counts in the time of war. All right, and that will be the end. This is Mary, but I will go from there. I was waiting for that moment to show you the statue of Mary, the sinless woman, Immaculate Conception. As you can see, she is standing on the moon, and you can see her with that 12 stars crown. And another thing that you can see is that the light around her gives us the idea that she is wearing the sun itself. Let me bless the cross for you. My dear followers, my dear subscribers, write me a comment and tell me what you think about it. I know that it's a very difficult story for some of you, but the idea of mine is that you will know everything. Now you know why the Catholic adore Mary. Now you know why she's got the 12 stars and standing on the moon and usually surrounded with the sun. I think you know more than what the average knew about it. Even I'm not sure that even all the Catholics knows about that. And if you do have something to add, do that, but try to be nice. Everyone who believes in Jesus, for me, is a Christian. Let's share that love with everyone. Thank you very much. Oh, one more thing. If you reach that moment, write me this exact second of that video, that exact minute, and I will bless each one of you. Bye-bye.